Too many. It's like, sure, I'm gonna buy it. I was on something that day, I think. Are you ready for a book haul? I've got one for you today. I went a lot of bit feral at the used bookstore a couple weeks ago. I got many books, and I spent about $65. So I got those for you first. I do have some new releases I picked up and also some books that I've already read that I picked up. So we will go through them as quickly as possible because it's a lot. It's a lot. I have no idea how many, but it's a lot. Whatever it is, it's a lot. Anyways, I found My Darling Dreadful Thing by Joanna Van Veen at the used bookstore. And the used bookstore, usually most of their soft covers are around between $4 and $6, but usually like $4 or $5. So you can't really beat it, unless you can beat it at like a library sale or anything. But these, they just, it's hit or miss, but sometimes you can get some really good selection over at the Book Barn in Niantic if you are in the area. I am, so I stop there probably more often than I should. Anyway, I picked up My Darling Dreadful Thing by Joanna Van Veen. I have read Blood on Her Tongue. I have the new one on NetGalley I need to get to. So I enjoyed Blood on Her Tongue, so I'm curious to see if I enjoyed this one. It says Ruth Beckman has a spirit companion only she can see. Ruth, strange, corpse-like, and dead for centuries, is the light of Ruth's life. That is, until the wealthy young widow, Agnes Knoop, visits one of Rue's backroom seances, and the two strike up a connection. So maybe the ghostie gets jealous. I don't know. I know this is probably sapphic because the other books are, so I'm assuming that's the case. So all these books that I'm going to show first are from the used bookstore until I tell you they're not. I got The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. She wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. I picked this up because someone told me it was good. It's about A.J. Fickery, who lives alone in a bookstore, and he's experiencing the worst sales in history, and now his prized possession, a rare collection of Poe's poems, has been stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fickery the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. Yes, she also wrote Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, so I didn't love Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, so maybe I like that one, maybe I won't. Probably shouldn't have picked it up, but like I said, I went a little feral. I went a little feral at the bookstore. And then for $1 each, I picked up 5 and 6 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood because they were $1 and in decent condition. Sometimes they're not in decent condition, but these were in decent condition. This is a paranormal romance, a bit smutty, sometimes a lot of smutty, early 2000s vampire romance series that I enjoy. I picked up The School for Good Mothers, which is, I believe, dystopian, sort of, right? I don't know much about it, but I do know that my friends have said it gets wild and have liked it. The state has eyes on mothers like Frida, the ones that check their phones, letting their children get injured on the playground, the ones that let their children walk home alone because of one moment of poor judgment. A host of government officials will now determine if Frida is a candidate for a Big Brother-like institution that measures the success or failure of a mother's devotion. Interesting. I picked up some random ones too. This was written in 1993. It's titled The Rationalist. Dark tale, perverse, erotic, and haunting. I have no idea what this is about. Let me read this synopsis. Silas Grange is a handsome young doctor who prides himself on keeping his appetites under perfect control. But when Grange is summoned by a mysterious, voluptuous widow named Celia Quill, he submits readily to the power of her sensuality, calmly, expertly, and with steady poise, Mrs. Quill initiates Grange into the pleasures beyond his imagination, and then proceeds to betray him with deceit beyond his darkest fears. Set in the 18th century England world of polished surfaces and secret desires, it weaves the story of reason overthrown by passion, pure intellect subverted by sexual obsession. Warwick Collins, acclaimed author of The Challenge, proves himself, blah, blah, blah. Interesting. I thought it looked interesting. I picked up Luster, which a lot of my friends enjoyed this one. Ellie and Allie and Coral, I think. And it's funny because I put this on hold at the library and I was going to pick it up. Before I went to the library, I went to the used bookstore because I was in the area and I saw this and I got super excited. I was like, sure, I'm going to buy it because it seems like maybe it's one that I'm going to want to highlight. I picked up Dollhouse by Penny Zhang. Doll Parts by Penny Zhang. I've seen this around, but I don't really know what it's about. For best friends, Nikki and Sadie, college was supposed to be a fresh start, a way to blast Courtney love from car speakers and leave their youth behind, but along with sadness-obsessed girls and intrusive professors, a dark story plagues their small all-women's school, the Sylvia Club. A campus legend surrounds the deaths of multiple Sylvia Plath-adoring students, all written off as suicides. Aspiring writer Nikki finds herself drawn into tragic tales, so much so that dead girls begin to haunt her dark imagination as she digs deeper. Nikki soon suspects there much more to the story, a suspicion that will lead to tragedy. It sounds a little more thrillery than I thought it was when I picked it up, but we'll check it out. It's blurbed by Samantha Downing, who wrote My Lovely Wife, which I did enjoy. I picked up The Turn of the Screw, which I feel like I just started hearing about, and then I saw it at the store and I picked it up because I just started hearing about it. A young governess is employed to look after two enchantingly beautiful orphans. Striving to protect the children, she becomes obsessed with the idea that they are in danger and her good intentions cause more harm than good. Uneasy and sinister, this novella shows a woman haunted by the eerie and evil presence that emerges from the terrors of real life. And then another one, this one is called Milk by Darcy Stank? I don't know. Stank? And this one looked really weird too, so that's why I picked it up. It says, Mary is a new mother, transformed by the birth of her baby. Walter, a lovely, gay Episcopal priest, privately struggles with his contradictory desires, and John, a monk, who has left the monastery after 15 years, craves intimacy with a woman. With mesmerizing prose, Darcy weaves together the lives of these three characters in ways that explore the intersection of spirituality and sexuality and reveal how even our rawest, most confused impulses may contain elements of the divine. Huh. It says, the characters of Milk form an erotic and spiritually enlightening threesome. I don't know. I was on something that day, I think. Too much caffeine, perhaps. The Comfort of Strangers by Ian McEwan? Every turn, every glimpse is another tightening of the noose. The evil power and power of evil are transmitted with a steady coolness and in the prose that has a feline grace. What the hell does that mean? On vacation in a city that may or may not be Venice, Mary and Colin are growing weary of each other, lost among the city's ancient, endlessly winding streets. Then one night, on their way to a late dinner, they meet an enigmatic stranger named Robert, forceful, insistent, perhaps a little too forthcoming. Robert leads them through the city and away from their ordinary lives forever. Huh. Creates a classic tale of suspense and erotic menace. Ooh. Actually sounds pretty interesting. That must be why I picked it up. And this one is like really weird. It's like a weird shape. It's square. And the cover is like textured. And this is about, it says, is a living seismograph of internal quakes and ruptures of a mother and son trapped within an edible nightmare. Ooh, amidst the suffocating totality embrace of the communist Hungary. Cramped apartment with a shut-in mother who used to be an actress. They have interdependence issues. There's black humor. It says it's a Splonchnik-core, a complex psychodrama turned inside out, revealing with visceral splendor the grotesque notion that there's nothing funnier than unhappiness. So I think it's to be sort of black humor-ish. I don't know. I just thought it looked interesting. Let's see if there's any others from the used bookstore. Oh yes. The Constant Rabbit, which I picked up because the cover was weird looking. The village of Hemlock has always been the right-wing stronghold. British, solid, traditional. Then they move in. They're different from everyone else. They have a weird religion, an aggressive vegan agenda, and too many children. They may seem quiet and peace-loving, but who knows where it would lead. They are a family of human-sized rabbits. The result of an inexplicable anthropomorphizing event half a century before, with a mass rehoming to Wales for 1.2 million rabbits, looming long-term resident Peter Knox is drawn from his customary spot on the fence and must choose his corner, a cozy job for a life at the Rabbit Compliance Task Force, or stand with the rabbits and weather the full brunt of human savagery. It'll take a rabbit to teach a human humanity. This just sounded so weird, and I've never heard of it before, so I had to pick it up. Had to. My Juliet by John Ed Bradley. Another one that I don't remember what it was about. It was published, I'm gonna guess, some time ago. Let's see, when was this published? Oh, 2000. I mean, it was still a long time ago, but 26 years. To me, it wasn't that long ago. Yikes. Anyways, what is this about? After years as an actress in California, beautiful Juliet is drawn back to a town by a promise of big inheritance, but she finds her supposedly dying mother all too healthy and making other plans. Fortunately for Juliet, Sonny Lamont has been carrying a torch for her all these years, and he's easily lured into her divine scheme to get what she deserves. Steamy, gothically atmospheric, and replete with suspense, My Juliet is a deliciously dark and funny tale. Sounded interesting. This is a newer one. I picked up Notes on Infinity that also used at the bookstore, and I wonder how much they charged me for this. $6, not bad. This is a new one. This is an art copy because they do sell arcs there if people bring them in. Bought it. Oh, no, that's not, you're not supposed to do that. Anyway, I got Notes on Infinity, which I heard Kayla talking about, and I don't really remember what this is about, even though it says a singular, extraordinary debut about Zoe and Jack, a Harvard students who find themselves propelled into an intoxicating biotech startup world when they announce they've discovered the cure for aging, a different kind of love story where the thirst for achievement consumes and the stakes are forever. So I heard they find a cure for aging, but it's not really a whole lot about that. I think it's more about the relationships in here. But I was interested in reading that. I know Kayla picked it up and really liked it, so I'm willing to give it a shot. I picked up Patricia Wants to Cuddle, which is one that I've wanted to read for a while now, but I have not read it yet, and I saw it at the used bookstore, so I grabbed it. This one was also $6. I know that this is something about Bigfoot and dating. When the final four women in a competition, an aloof, somewhat sleazy bachelor's heart, arrive on a mysterious island in the Pacific Northwest, they prepare themselves for another week of extreme sleep deprivation. They have all got their eyes steadfastly trained on their respective prize. Enter Patricia, a temperamental and woefully misunderstood local living along in the dark verdant woods and desperate for a connection. So yeah, I know this is like a weird book about this reality show, and then there's this Bigfoot and she wants to cuddle. See, anything else from the used bookstores? I got this one. And this one, I got two more from the Book Barn haul. I grabbed Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead, which I have not read yet. Oh, well, won the Nobel Prize in Literature. I did not know that. But I've heard good things about this. I think it's some sort of a mystery. A remote Polish village. Her reputation as a crank and a recluse is only amplified by her not-so-secret preferences for the company of animals over humans. I know somebody ends up dead. She inserts herself into the investigation, but no one will pay any attention to her or what she says. This one is one I have already read. I think it's one of the only ones that I've already read that I got at the used bookstore. A Diary of Blood, which I read a long time ago, but I have not had a copy of, and I enjoyed this a lot. I think I gave this one 5 stars or 4.5 or something like that. So that is it for the used books that I got at the Book Barn in that one very feral outing. And then got 2 more used books from Pengo. I picked up a copy of A Clockwork Orange, which I have read and love, and I had a copy of this many years ago. This particular publication copy, and I wanted to get it back because I don't know what happened to my old copy. I probably got rid of it when I was like moving or whatever from home to new house. I picked this one up because I love A Clockwork Orange, and this one is I don't even know what you would call it, just a sci-fi future where there's about this dude and he does a lot of crime and horrible things, and he gets apprehended and puts in this correction facility, and then what do they do to him? I think I remember. He goes in to be reformed, awful things to him to get him reformed, and it asks, like, at what cost do we do these things? Yeah, I wouldn't want to give too much away, but if you've seen the movie or read the book, then you know that this is a book about government doing things they shouldn't do in the name of good, I guess. The language in here is very frustrating at times because there is like a whole slang language that was invented in here, so it's confusing, but then if you keep reading, you sort of catch on to it, and it changes your brain and it makes you understand it. So I just thought that part of it alone was really interesting to me. And then I grabbed, because this was offered by the same Pengo seller, so for just a few dollars more when it came to shipping, I grabbed this book, which I thought was interesting. And all I know about this book is called The Most by Jessica Anthony, is that it's about a woman or a mother who gets in a pool and refuses to get out. So I'm assuming she's had it with her life. It is an unseasonably warm Sunday in 1957, November 1957. A college tennis champion turned Delaware housewife decides not to join her husband and their 2 young boys at church. Instead, she takes a dip in a swimming pool of her family's apartment complex, and then she won't come out. Set over the course of 8 hours, the most breaches the shimmering surface of a seemingly idyllic marriage, immersing us in the unspoken truth beneath. So I thought this one sounded interesting. It's probably just a mom trying to get some alone time, refusing to get out of the pool, just saying, go, do your thing, and I'm just gonna stay here and be in the pool. Leave me alone. Sounds familiar. The rest of these are ones that I bought or got from book boxes. I'll grab the ones I've already read. So from Book of the Month, I grabbed Mocha. I talked about this in a previous video, my wrap up, and then also one of my NetGalley Ready Set Net videos, and I enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. This is about, it's set in Korea, South Korea. In South Korea, they have this phenomenon called Mocha, where people are putting all these hidden cameras in places, and then women are being exploited on the internet and on these Mocha sites, and this is about that, and then a woman who gets fed up with it. And I won this on a Goodreads giveaway, and that was so exciting. It showed up in the mail and I didn't even know that it was coming. The Caretaker by Marcus Kluwer, and I gave this 5 stars. And now I don't have to actually come and buy it. And I loved this book. It was so good. It's about a girl who is a woman down on her luck. She needs money real bad, so she takes this job as a caretaker, and she has to perform these rituals or rites in the house over this weekend, or bad things are gonna happen. And I loved it. It's a real mind F, and yeah, the ending has me going, ooh, or, you know, so I really enjoyed this one. I got my copy of The Faraway Inn, and I read this as an ARC as well, and I absolutely loved this book. It's by Sarah Beth Durst. I love Sarah Beth Durst. I have so many books from Sarah Beth Durst that I just love, and this is no exception. This is a cozy fantasy about a girl who needs to get away from her life because her boyfriend cheated on her, and she goes to this cabin that her aunt, or bed and breakfast sort of, that her aunt owned. She tries to help out. Her aunt doesn't really want her to, and there's lots of cute characters and sentient things and weird magics and portals and fantasy, and it's just really good and heartwarming. And a grumpy kitty, there's a grumpy kitty in here, and you know, gotta love a grumpy kitty, right? So I loved this book and I wanted to grab a copy, so I did. Have not read but are new. I pre-ordered Rites of a Starling because I really enjoyed, what's it called? Sparrow something? Sparrow? Why can I not remember? Oh my lord. Oh, Shield of Sparrows, so I'm looking forward to the sequel. I actually reread Shield of Sparrows in March, so I should be able to read this and know what the heck is going on, as long as I don't wait too long, which I might. That is a romantasy, if you didn't know that. I picked up Morsel. This is a new horror book that I haven't gotten to yet. It just came out in March or April. Maybe it just came out, I think. And this is a folk horror, I believe, but I don't really know anything else about it other than possibly folk horror. I know I've read the synopsis, but I don't remember. Lou did what the children of parents of backbreaking, poorly paying jobs are supposed to do. Pulling up her bootstraps, went to college and got an office gig with the coworkers who won't stop talking about their multi-level marketing scheme disguised as self-betterment. When Lou accepts a property appraisal assignment in the rural hills of Ohio, she knows it's her last chance to save her job and keep making rent, but she quickly finds herself stranded in the middle of nowhere with a sabotage truck, her dog, and someone or something stalking her through the ancient Appalachian woods. If she can't escape the woods in time, she'll see firsthand that the job isn't the only thing that wants to eat her alive. Creature feature, maybe? I don't know. It was at my local indie, and they don't carry a ton of horror, so when they do buy a new horror, I do try to grab it so that I can support them, because I do read a lot of horror. I picked up The Trident and the Pearl, which I'm super duper excited about. This one just looked amazing, and it's pretty. Look at the cover. It's, I believe, some sort of a underwater romantasy type situation. That's my assumption by the cover. I don't know if I've actually ever forced by the gods to be wed, forced by their secrets to be enemies. Okay, so enemies to lovers, forced marriage situation. So this just, I've heard good things about this, and it just seems, it's not underwater, I don't think. It looks like it's underwater, but maybe it's island. I don't know. We're gonna find out, because this guy looks like he's like underwater, and there's dolphins and magic and a trident. It just looks so pretty. Breathtaking prose, the world that feels both timeless and new. The Trident and the Pearl is perfect for readers who love slow burn romance steeped in lush fantasy. So I'm looking forward to this one. It just looks, I've heard good things, and it's just so pretty. From Book of the Month, I grabbed Yesteryear. This one has been seen around everywhere by Carol Claire Burke. This is about a woman who is sort of a trad wife and religious or something like that. Fundamentally Christian, I think. A Christian fundamental, I don't know. Or Mormon, I don't remember. But anyway, she's got lots of kids. She lives in a farmhouse. She's trad wifing it up. And then she gets trapped back in the actual time that she is trying to portray, I believe. Yeah, she wakes up in a life that isn't hers, her home, her husband, her children. They're all familiar but wrong. Her kitchen is warmed by a sputtering fire rather than electricity. Her children are dirty and strange. And her soft-handed husband is suddenly a competent farmer. Couldn't be my husband. He's definitely not the farmery type. And also from Book of the Month, I grabbed The Ending Writes Itself. I was curious about this one because it is a co-authored by V.E. Schwab and Kat Clark. So I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see how it goes. I know this is about writers who get some sort of deal on an island and they have to write the ending to a story, and the person that wins gets to ghostwrite the final chapters of this book. It's supposed to skyrocket their careers or something. It's the perfect plot. All it needs is a killer ending. I don't know. This just sounded interesting. It's an author dies and then a bunch of other authors are invited to an island in 72 hours to write the ending, and you know, then their career will skyrocket. And V. Schwab, so. And then I also grabbed Japanese Gothic. This is the beautiful, this by Kylie Baker. This is the beautiful copy that Aardvark did. Here's the naked naked hardback. And this, I actually did score a signed copy, which is nice. Wasn't sure if I would. And this is a haunted house-esque story. I know it involves a guy in a more present timeline and then a woman in a historical timeline, and their timelines cross over and at some point, and it's a horror book, so something creepy must happen. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. An eerie and unrelenting tale. Wait, it says Chuck Wendig. I like Chuck. I do. Chapter 1, present day, Japan. Lee. In the house behind the sword ferns, there was a man and a murderer and a stain. That is the first line. I actually already want to read it. That sounds great. And then Our Sister's Keeper, also from Aardvark, I grabbed. This is about some sort of a town where in Mississippi, it's a wealthy all-black town, free and untouched by white oppression. And a woman and her husband go and move into there. And then little do they know that the idyllic town teems with ghoulish walking nightmares that only the women can see. So this one sounded really interesting, so I grabbed this one. And that was actually my last one. I wonder what's the first line in this one? I love reading the first lines of books. Lucas Fulton was Mara's least favorite client. First line of that one. Let's count how many books this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Too many. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's a lot, guys. That's probably too many books. I don't always buy this many books. I seriously went feral in the used bookstore, so I just need to like not do that. Sometimes I'll go in there and buy 1 book, 2 books, no books. But this time, as you can see, I went a little crazy. So I hope you enjoyed this haul. I will hopefully not have one for you for a while. I want to get these on my shelves because I want to do a bookshelf tour. So I wanted to get these off my shelves, and my haul bucket was completely full, so I definitely needed to do that. So, yeah, this is a little bit crazy, but this is what we're working with. I am going to go ahead and grab my outs, my stuff that I'm going to be unhauling, and that'll be a lot shorter portion of the video. And here's my on haul, much smaller However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on hauls. I'm on Hauling in 5 Years by Rebecca Serrell because I have decided she's not for me. I also read One Italian Summer. I did read this one and I liked it okay, but between this and expiration dates, I decided not into it. I am on Hauling a Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. I really liked the first one in this series, which was called Witch's Guide to Fake Demon, right? Yeah, A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was cute, but this one just, I didn't like it as much for whatever reason. I don't remember. I am on Hauling Everything Everything. I feel like this was very of the time. It was like, was that like 6 Feet Apart, whatever that book was called, and a movie book was called, and then some of the other books of the time where it's like a girl is sick and sad, and there's a boy who makes her happy. And it's a tragic love story. I read it. It was good, I guess, but it wasn't anything that I want to keep. I'm on Hauling All the Hearts You Eat, which is sad, but I didn't like it all that much, and maybe someone else will like this more than me. This is a trans author a trans woman, and this is I don't even want to tell you, it's about an island off of the coast, and weird things happen, and there's a body that shows up. I don't know. I'm on Hauling We Lose to Live Here by Sarah Pinborough. This was fine. I think I gave it 3 stars, but I don't need to keep it. I'm going to unhaul The Burning Girls, which I did like, but it's a thriller, and I just don't feel like I need to keep thrillers most of the time. I'm unhauling The Cheerleaders, which is a young adult thriller, and it was fine. And I think I ended up DNFing it like 2/3 of the way in, because I was just like, this is just fine. I don't feel like finishing it. I'm going to unhaul that. And then she also wrote Little Monsters, which I've heard good things about, but I don't really feel like I need to read it. It's a young adult thriller, and I am over it, so I'm going to drop that off somewhere. And then I'm sadly unhauling Beta Vulgaris. This is one that I'm still like questioning, but I really did not like this. I read 150 pages of it and did not want to continue, so I am unhauling this. So anyway, that is all to say. This has been my ins and outs for this month, and hopefully all for a while. Maybe I'll have more outs than ins next time, perhaps. Anyway, that is all for today. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. You can find me on Goodreads and Instagram in the links down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.